Hi, I'm C.C. Péan, and this is Reclaiming Your Health. Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Reclaiming Your Health. It's been at least, I would think it's been like about 3 months since I've done something live. Maybe, I know I did one Q&A while I was in Miami, but for the most part, we haven't prepared anything. So it's so good to be back again tonight, preparing something at summer's end. I'm trying to push in just a couple more of those summer, seasonally fresh recipes. And this evening's recipe is including a lot of these great, yummy, full of nutrients and antioxidants, all of that stuff. We've got that going on tonight. But before we get into that, I have a special guest this evening. Stacy is in town. I know you all know Stacy. If you know me, you know Stacy.
Yes.
She is here this evening, and she is going to help create this dish. She is a chef in her own right, and she is joining me this evening, and so I'm happy to have the help.
Nice to be here.
So tonight's dish is a Mediterranean vegetable salad. Some people call it an Israeli vegetable salad. We're trying to be kind of non-political, so we're calling it a Mediterranean vegetable salad, and it's very simple. And actually, one of the key components in this recipe is hummus. And the great thing about hummus is it is a dish that is used quite often by people who are transitioning to a plant-based lifestyle because it's super easy. It's pretty much available anywhere you go. And if you decide to make it at home, it's super easy to make at home. It's incredibly nutritious. It's protein rich. There are different ways to make it. You can make it with or without the heart-healthy olive oil. If you have an issue with fat, you don't have to use olive oil. You can make it deliciously creamy with just the tahini. And it's just great. It's great on veggies. It's great slathered on some bread as a spread for a sandwich. And so instead of using mayo, you're using this nutrient-rich spread of hummus. So that's one of the components of tonight's dish. And then we're going to have this beautiful salad made up of bell peppers and tomatoes, cucumber, onion. We've got some great fresh mint in there and some fresh parsley, squeeze of lemon juice. So it's really just bursting with flavors and really fresh and lemony and tangy. So that's what we're making today. And we're going to scoop it up with some gluten-free naan that once we get this going, Stacy's going to get on the grill and she's going to grill up some bread. And I wanted to mention to you all that something that you're going to be seeing quite a bit moving forward are going to be gluten-free dishes. And let me tell you why. Within the last couple of months, my husband has learned that he has a celiac sensitivity. It's not the full-blown celiac disease, but he definitely has sensitivity, and he's asymptomatic, which means he's been dealing with, this for a long time. It's been doing damage, but not obviously. So moving forward, I'm really excited about introducing you all to some gluten-free dishes and learning along with you. So let's get started.
And let me say, anyone who knows Cynthia knows that she literally makes the best hummus. Better than the restaurants that you go to, anything like that. So pay full attention because it's really so simple, but she just has a great hand at it. So pay attention to this recipe.
So the recipe I shared with you all is for a larger serving. So if you're doing dinner, if you want to do it, I always talk about doing a beautiful spread. So if you're doing a beautiful spread like a Sabbath dinner or a brunch or something like that, or a get together with friends, that's when you're going to use the recipe in the amounts that is shared online. What we're doing tonight is a pared down version, of course, because we don't need hummus for like 8 to 10 people. Okay, so Stacy's going to get started. So Stacy, tell us what you're going to be dropping into your food processor.
Okay, so we have a cup of chickpeas, and we're going to rinse and drain these chickpeas. All right. So everybody, knows you can get those at the store, garbanzo beans or chickpeas. Then we have tahini. And that's another thing that I love about Cynthia. She's always going to introduce you to something that you see in the store and you're like, well, what am I going to use that for? Well, you're going to use tahini tonight. All right. And then we have juice from a half a lemon. We have 2 cloves of garlic. We have some ground cumin, which I love cumin. Cumin is a great spice. We love that. And we have a half teaspoon of harissa, which is a chili pepper paste from like North Africa.
North Africa.
Cynthia's always teaching me new things.
It's quite spicy. So I would suggest you start with a little and then add it. Because if you put too much in it, forget about it. So.
And then we've got, of course, olive oil. You have a good olive oil and ground pepper and some salt. So guess what? It is literally that simple. You just put it all in here. So we're just going to take off the top of our food processor, make sure that's on tight. Make sure the blade is in there. You have that steel blade food processor. So you just pour this all in here. Oh, so we're going to measure out for our tahini. We need a 1/4 cup. So you just get your 1/4 cup measurement. Now with tahini, you want to make sure that you're mixing the tahini paste because the oil will rise to the top. So you want to make sure you get down in there and get that thicker part that's down near the bottom mixed in. You want to have a good,
And this is part of the reason why it's not necessarily necessary to add olive oil into the mixture. Like what I like to do when my hummus is done is I'll just do a drizzle of olive oil on top. Because this tahini is made from sesame, and so it has oil in it. So if you're sensitive about your fat intake, this is where you would back off of adding that extra oil, because you will see some hummus recipes where they're just pouring the olive oil into the processor along with the chickpeas, and we don't want to do that. We're being conscious about the fat that we are taking in.
It has such a great flavor that it infuses into the hummus. So you want to, sorry, I kind of made a little bit of a mess there. Okay, so then we're going to put the juice from half a lemon. Mm-hmm. And one of the great things too about cooking, you want to make sure that you have all your kitchen accoutrement that makes, we want to work smarter, not harder. So this is a juicer, just squeeze it in there. That's juice from half a lemon right there. And you just go in there, squeeze it. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so next we're going to throw in our 2 cloves of garlic, yummy garlic. And we're gonna mince it on here. Because sometimes if you throw it right into the food processor, it doesn't break down completely. So you do wanna kind of help it along. So we're just gonna yum, yum, yum. Get a good squeeze on that. Oh, okay. One of these spoons. All right. We're just going to scrape it off there. And because we're doing another one, we're just going to put it right on in there. So you don't have to be, you don't have to be fancy. There we go. Get a good squeeze and get that to go on through. And then okay. I'm used to the cooking show that I do. I have a shorter time, so I'm used to really, really speeding along. So forgive me with that. We're going to get that garlic out from on the inside. There we go. Thank you. And next, we're going to add our ground cumin. And it is a half teaspoon. So here we have our half teaspoon. We're going to open this up. Okay, so my little fancy nails are not going to let me get that top off. Yeah. That's like a real chef's knife, so you gotta be careful with that. So good, we got our top off there, and we're gonna put good. So we got our half teaspoon of cumin. I just like to sprinkle it around. I don't ever like to just drop it in one place. And we're gonna put that half teaspoon of harissa. And like she says, be careful with this because, this is intense, so.
You don't have to do half. You could do
less than that. Because me, I want to be able to eat it. So I'm going to do a little less than half of that harissa.
It's
like
a
she
really
said,
spicy paste.
yeah, but it's so flavorful.
It is.
So nice. But yeah, I tend to be a little shy when it comes to pepper. So then we're gonna put olive oil. How much oil do we put?
Just a little drizzle.
Right.
Just a little drizzle. I mean, like a total of that. Yeah.
That's okay. All right.
About a half to a tablespoon.
Okay. And then of course your salt and pepper is really to taste. So I'm just gonna put a couple of cranks of the black pepper. You tell me when to stop, Cynthia.
You're good.
That's good. Okay. And then salt, and we've got our good pink Himalayan sea salt. So a good little pinch we're gonna put in there. A good pinch of salt. All right, and you can always add more later. And literally, look how simple that is. You put this on now, Cynthia. This is a little different than mine, so I want you to show me how to put that on. All right, just put it on. And then literally, are we gonna pulse it or we just put it fully on?
Just let it go because you want to get it smooth. And so
Okay.
what you're going to be watching for with this, there's no extra liquid added. So Stacy's likely going to have to add some of the chickpea liquid to it, but let's just see how it goes.
Okay, so we're gonna mix it up. It's so flavorful. You can smell all that garlic and everything coming together. It's so nice. Okay, so she's saying I'm definitely going to need to add some liquid to this. So we're just going to use bigger spoons. Thank you.
And so while she's doing that, we're going to get started on the vegetable salad. And we've got an English cucumber here. And I'm just going to cut it in half. We're going to use the rest of this for a part of our crudité. And one of the things that you have to remember to do with cucumbers is you have to take the seeds out because the seeds are cucumbers are already really high in water. That's why they're so good for you. But you don't want this to go into your salad because it'll make it really watery. So we're just going to take a spoon.
I'm having an aha moment because I actually didn't know that, but that totally makes sense. Wow. Okay.
And we're just going to take the seeds out just like that. So you've got one side done.
She's taking the seeds out. I'm going to put this back on here. Toast this a little more.
So periodically you're going to stop and you're going to scrape down the sides. And so I've taken my seeds out and this is what it looks like now. If you've ever even seen like recipes where you can take the chickpea salad that I've made in the past, you could just put that right in here and you could have a really great plant-based, low fat, low calorie treat. That's one thing you could do with this.
Nice.
But today what we're going to do is we're going to chop this up because this is going to be part of our vegetable salad.
This smells divine. So good.
That's one. And we want to do even strips, and we've talked about why they have to be done evenly because we want the flavor to be consistent throughout. All right. Cucumbers go in here. I don't know if you all can see what I'm doing. Let's see.
I figured that out. So let me try this again.
Okay, next we're going to do our bell pepper. So I'm just going to cut along the side.
And it's
Go ahead.
I was saying it's really important to make sure that you blend this well because you want it to be very smooth. You don't want any of the chunks of the chickpeas to be left in the hummus.
So you all have heard me. I do not use green bell peppers. Green bell peppers are not ripe. They're young and they have a completely different taste. And so we want the sweetness of the bell pepper. So that's why we're using orange. You can use orange, yellow, or red, but do not use green. So we're just gonna cut this up as well. This side.
There's nothing like having good kitchen utensils. Look at how easy it is to chop up these vegetables when you have good kitchen utensils. That's really important.
Mhm.
While she's cutting that, let me just mix it a little more. Let me know if you think this needs some more liquid. That's okay.
Let's see, use a spoon and see how
okay.
easy it spoons out.
Like that.
It should be a little smoother, so
Okay.
you may have to add a little more liquid to it, just a little bit. Okay, so now our bell peppers are going in the bowl. Next, we're gonna cut up. Let's do our onion next. Not gonna use too much onion, and this onion is actually going to be cut much smaller than the cucumber and the bell pepper because it does have a strong, bite to it. Even though it's a red onion, I like to keep it, minimal. We don't want to overwhelm people with the flavor of onion.
And you see how important it is to hold on to that. When you drain the chickpeas from the can, it's very important to hold on to that liquid because you may need it. So don't forget that when you're preparing this dish.
Okay, so there's our onion. It's going straight in.
And I'm going to turn this on.
And now we're going to quarter these tomatoes. Now, if this were a big tomato, I would definitely take out the seeds, but I'm not going to do that with this. Just going to cut them in fourths. What's also lovely about this is the colors. It's beautiful colors. We talk about eating the rainbow, eating with our eyes. And this is one of those dishes that definitely gives you that. It's got as much flavor as it does have color. You've got the lycopene coming in here from your tomatoes and the bell peppers. We're gonna have the fresh parsley that's gonna go in there, and it's just gonna be yum, yum, yummy.
How's that look?
Let's see. That looks a lot better.
Okay, but still a little more.
You could, but let's taste it and see how smooth it is.
Okay.
It definitely needs, you haven't tasted it for salt yet.
Okay, yeah. I need a little more salt. Ooh, that harissa.
You can taste it?
Mm-hmm. But I'm so sensitive to pepper, but ooh, I really taste the harissa.
And I think we actually might need a little more lemon juice.
Okay.
And so, when you make things like this, you're going to play around. Like, you might like a really lemony hummus. You may want, you may want even more of the tahini flavor. My husband doesn't care for tahini, so I don't go overboard on tahini when I make hummus for him. I love tahini. I could bathe in tahini, but he's not big on it.
I'm going to blend this a little more. Oh, let me put just.
And we're going to do a few more tomatoes. And this dish is almost done, folks.
Mm-hmm. So this is something that you literally just can whip up. Unexpected guests.
Unexpected guests, and in most of these things, you may not have mint. A lot of people will have a lot of these ingredients, so you may not have mint, but this is something that literally it's super easy to whip up. And when you see how he played it, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Really, I'm learning so much from Cynthia when it comes to plating because again, we eat with our eyes. Of course, we want it to taste delicious, but when you see it on the plate and it's beautiful, it really does make a huge difference.
So that was about a quarter cup, I would say, of parsley. I just grabbed a bunch and then just tossed it in there. You know what's funny about parsley is I hated parsley as a child. I mean, I'm a child of the 70s and 80s, and I came up in a time when parsley was the garnish on your plate. You never really ate it, and if you accidentally ate it, you regretted it. I've grown up, as have my taste buds, and I really like parsley. I especially like it in these types of dishes. So I just took my mint and I'm just cutting it in thin strips.
There's a little more salt. So we have our tawa here getting nice and hot, which a tawa is a grill, a flat grill. I finally convinced my mother, our neighbor back in Jamaica, when my parents lived in Maypen, she gave my mother a seasoned tawa, and that was 1973. She gave it to my mother. My mother made many rotis on it, and she finally gave it to me a few years ago. So I've been proud. Cynthia taught me how to make roti, and I make it.
All right, so my lemon juice is going in here. I'm gonna do a pinch of salt. I've got these nails on, folks, so I didn't get the pinch that I wanted to get. Okay.
I'm gonna give this one more zoom.
All righty. So I'm going to toss this up, and in a few moments, we are going to be ready to plate, people. So we're just going to toss this together. See how beautiful that looks? Can you see that? Let's get that front shot. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. I wish you could smell it. That mint really is coming through the red onion. Smells so good. And it's beautiful.
Okay.
And I can't believe in all these years I've actually never made hummus.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what this tastes like. If I need. Get a little more lemon. A little more lemon.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to taste this and tell me what else. I just love one of the things I've learned with a seasoned chef, the professional chef, is I love how she keeps a variety of spoons, because when you're taste testing, you don't want to keep dipping. So that's one of the things I've learned in her kitchen.
Let's see.
Nice and crunchy.
Definitely.
Make sure these
Okay, we're gonna do a sprinkle, a few twists of the black pepper. Stacy is grilling our bread.
Yes.
So we're just gonna, let me taste this. It's good.
Okay.
That garlic is, so that's the thing too. Like, some people like really garlicky hummus. You'll make it and you'll figure out exactly what you want, what you don't want, all of that stuff. All righty. Let's move this stuff out the way. We're gonna keep this for a drizzle at the end. And let's plate. So I'm just gonna put this in the middle of the plate.
Oh, wow.
And this plate has an edge to it because we don't want it to, go off the edge of the plate. So make sure that the plate has a lip, the plate or the platter that you're using. We're just gonna move this out to the side.
I'm totally making this when I get home.
Go. Okay. And then when you put the vegetable salad on, you want to use a slotted spoon. We're using a slotted spoon because remember there's the seeds. If you can see that there's liquid that has formed at the bottom of the bowl. And we don't want to put that on here. So we're going to make sure we use a slotted spoon and just kind of shake it a little bit to make sure you get the liquid off. We're going to put that right in the center. Okay. So we've got that done. And to this is just a drizzle of the olive oil. It's going to give a little flavor, but it also gives, it's the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't serving for one person. So, you don't have to worry that you've overdone it with oil. Now, one of the things you can do, you can use some kosher salt, like those big flakes of kosher salt. You can put that on there. Actually, let me go grab that while Stacy is checking the bread. Oh, that bread looks different.
Well, that's the bottom side. So the top side is grilling nicely.
So we're just going to
I'm so
do
excited, can you tell?
a little kosher salt over the top.
Yeah. And that just adds to the aesthetic as well.
It does. It adds to the aesthetic and it definitely adds to the flavor. Okay.
I love coming to Cynthia's house.
So you see how quickly we got that together?
Mm-hmm.
Folks seeing that?
So
Isn't that lovely? Can't you imagine this in the middle of your dinner table, or even when people come to your home while dinner is still being prepared? You can put this out on the table. You can put it out on the table with some fresh, nice grilled pita bread. You can put it out with crudité. You can put it out with corn chips. You can put it out with pita chips. There's so many different things you can do, but I guarantee you this will disappear. All right, so we've got our gluten-free naan. Actually doesn't feel that bad. So let's dig in and see how this tastes. It's nice and hot.
It is.
Get a piece of this. That's good. It's kind of herbaceous because you have the parsley and you have the mint.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So good.
So good.
Delicious. And like I was saying, this actually could be like a meal. It's one of the things I was thinking. I love steaming broccoli. This would be delicious on some broccoli. You just have your broccoli florets on the side, steam them. You have this is a meal. One of the things that I've always talked to you all about is that we need to get out of the mindset that breakfast has to be cereal and eggs and pancakes, or, lunch has to be a sandwich. Your focus, your goal should simply be nutrition. And there's so many different ways to get nutrition that are out of the box that we have been led to believe you must eat this way. There's nothing wrong with having some steamed kale for breakfast. There's nothing wrong with making a snack out of, cucumber and, things like that. Oh, a notification came up on my phone. So there's no reason why you can't do that. I mean, there's cucumber in the salad, but we could absolutely cut some more cucumber and scoop it up with it. We can absolutely cut up bell pepper and, scoop from it. So it's a super easy, heart healthy, nutrient rich, antioxidant rich, eat the rainbow type of dish. And you see how easy it was for us to put it together.
The sweetness with the tomato.
It's good.
Oh, no, yeah, and even this gluten-free naan tastes good.
This naan is not doing it for me, but
What is it?
I'm taking one for the team.
Well, I'm one of these people. I don't even like trying new things like this. I have to be honest with you. But I actually had some gluten-free sourdough bread this morning, and I was like, this is edible. And this is, the tomato, the sweetness with the mint and the salt
parsley,
and the parsley, and it's good.
It's delicious. Well, thank you for joining us on Reclaiming Your Health. We'll see you. Well, I'll see you next week. Maybe C.C. will be back. Maybe she won't. But thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.